Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. First of all, I would like to apologise for my general grouchiness when it came to the most recent PPW for Save to Be parts. It's just, Twitch being a bit weird for me lately, but, I'm trying not to worry about it too much. Hopefully I won't by tomorrow night, but that's a little bit of self-promotion for later. As for now, we have 5 albums to get through. So let's get through them. We begin with Avenged Sevenfold and their newest album, Life is But a Dream. This is their first album in 7 years since 2016's The Stage, which I thought was kind of okay. And I'm pretty familiar with this band. I did a full backtracking episode on them in 2017, and it took a while for this one to come out. And I've seen a lot of mostly positive responses. I am giving this one an A-, because I will admit, it's weird, right? It's got to be one of the weirdest albums I've heard all year, and it's not like it's not the band's typical metalcore stuff. For example, it's got so much avant-garde and proggy things in it, and bits of like indie pop and jazz, and it's fucking weird, man. It's a fucking weird album, but I really liked it. I like a lot of the instrumental work. I think Sinister Gates is a fantastic guitarist as well. I think M. Shadows can still really sing when he wants to. I think the lyrics are a little bit strange. I think there's a theme of loss. I'm not really sure. It's weirdly written. It's a weirdly written album in terms of that. I think the performances are really good, though. I think Brooks Wackerman is a fantastic drummer. I think Sinister Gates is a great guitarist. I pretty much like everyone. M. Shadows does not put in his best performance, I will admit, but he does try with what he has. The production's pretty good too. It does edit around quite a bit of the sound, and it's not always in the best way. Neither is my hair, to be honest. But for what it is, I think it does try and flesh things out, and it does make the weirder things stick out. And the structuring is also okay too. Why is that? Why am I saying everything's okay when I gave it an A- grade? I don't know. I do really like it though. I really, really do. I just think I don't know, maybe there's a lack of cohesion, but all the weird shit mostly seems to stick, and I'm all for a band trying to just throw stuff at a wall and see what works. It's not on the same level as Otherness by Alexisonfire last year. That was almost a year ago by this point. Jesus hell. But I would still recommend you go give this one a spot. An A- is a really goddamn good grade. It's a strange album, I will admit. It's not going to be the easiest one to sit through because it's a very long album too. I think that's another problem I have with the structuring. But I don't know. There's some weird part of me that likes how weird the album wound up being. So I still say give it a shot just for that. Next is Body Type with their second album. I think it's their second album, Expired Candy. These are an Australian group, and I like me Australian groups for the most part. I'm giving this one the lowest grade of the episode though. This only gets a B. I liked a fair chunk of it. The problem is it's a bit too long, right? I feel like it didn't need to have this many songs on it. It feels like about half the songs, because there's 13 on the album, it feels like a fair few of them do drag at the end. And they're a punk rock, like they're sort of post-punk garagey rock sort of thing, and I don't understand why they felt the need to drag so many of these songs out on this one, but I did like it. I like the lyrical themes of like love, that's the main one, I think. The performances are really fucking good. The lead singer is really great at her job, has a lot of charisma to her. I quite like the production. I thought it was very smooth for the most part. Structuring's a little bit weird, but the instrumentation does make up for it. I just wish there were more guitar solos. So yeah, still a really solid bit of Aussie style, unique Aussie style post-punky rocky stuff. So if you want to go for it, I recommend you give this one a go. I quite liked a lot of this one. And now it's time for a bit of a sad one. This is Foo Fighters' new album titled But Here We Are, and it's their first album since the passing of longtime drummer Taylor Hawkins last year. So I can't give this anything other than an A. I was like, man, I felt this album through my fucking bones for the most part. It is primarily a tribute to Taylor and how much they loved him and how much of an influence he was on the band. And he really, really was. And he died only at the age of... I don't even think he was 52 at the time. I think he was only 51 when he died. And that is no age at all. And you can just feel... You can feel it from Dave Grohl's voice, how much he misses his friend. You can feel it from the band's playing, how much they miss Taylor. The instrumentation is absolutely fantastic. The lyricism is a strong, strong point because there's a lot of pain to it, but you feel... I relate to it because I've also lost friends, and usually if you can, make that sort of work for me, if you can feel like you've got, a hand on someone's shoulder, that's the kind of thing that works for me, and it felt like this album was kind of there for me in that way. The performances are absolutely fantastic as well. Dave Grohl is at his best, I would say, in a long time. Chris Shiflett is a great guitarist. I really love Nate Wendell's bass work. Everyone's really great on this one. I think Dave actually did the drumming as well for this, and he does a really good job there too. Structure-wise, I feel like the last two songs can kind of lose their way a little bit, but they do bring themselves around, and most of the album is just very, very grounded. The production's nice and organic as well. Yeah, go listen to this one. It's very, very heavy, and it's very, very heartfelt and very emotional, and very well executed. So, I seriously recommend giving this one a go. Next is another long-time band. This is Rancid, and their newest album, Tomorrow Never Comes. This is a band I've been familiar with for quite a while, but I've never done a full album of theirs until now. I probably had my best chance back in 2017, because that was when their last album came out. I'm also giving this one an A. Spoiler alert, A is the highest grade of this entire episode. Yeah, I really like this one as well. It's on the sort of like opposite spectrum of why I liked Foo Fighters' album so much. This one is not as emotional, but it still feels like it's an album that's there for you again. Bare on its hands, you know, offering it to you while patting you on the back, making sure it's there for you. It's got really good instrumentation, very, very fast. It's 16 songs long and about 29 minutes, so it can sort of feel uneven in structure, but I don't know, it maximises its minutes quite well. I like a lot of the lyricism, themes of political corruption and camaraderie and hope as well. A very hopeful and optimistic tone, which is not something people give Rancid enough credit for, I don't think. As you know, as they sound as a band, they're still great. Lars Fredriksson is a great guitarist. I love Matt Freeman's bass work. I love Brandon Steinerkurtz. I can never remember to say his surname. His drumming, but it's all about Tim Armstrong for me. His vocals are fantastic. I love his deep voice. I love his charisma. He's absolutely fucking great at telling stories when he wants to. Yeah, no, really good work from the band. Really nice production too, handled by Tim for the most part. For my fucking hair, Christ. And it's really well executed in its own right too. Got some really solid punk energy to it. Just a very sort of like hopeful and bouncy and sort of happy vibe to the whole thing. Yeah, instrumentation is great. I love the fast style riffs. I've already gone for lyrics. Trying to think of anything else. No, that's all I can think of that I've gone through. Yeah, no, it's another solid recommend. I recommend you give it a go. And finally, we have the only band from the UK in this episode, Tiger Cub, with their third album, The Perfume of Decay. So this is a band I think I'd heard about before, and I can't remember for the life of me if I could with their last album. I did like this one though. I'm giving it a B+. They're an alternative rock sort of. I forgot to mention Foo Fighters are alternative rock post-grunge. You probably already knew that. And Rancid are very much punk rock. I mean, you probably want to know that as well. This is a alternative rock, post-grungy modern thing, sort of a bit like Highly Suspect. This is a trio from England, and I thought it had some really strong stuff going for it. I liked it when it stuck to the more sleazy, sort of slightly filthy and sexy things, you know? It looks really creepy when I go filthy and sexy things. That was weird. I like it when it stuck to that though. I liked it when it stuck to the more sort of like sludgy and dirty riffs, and the album doesn't always do that. The first half of the album is really great with it, but the second half of the album tries to get a bit too emotional, and it feels a bit off balance in terms of its tone. But yeah, besides that, I think it's a very well executed album in terms of a performance standpoint, especially from lead singer Jamie Hall, who has buckets of charisma, absolute buckets of charisma, and really good guitarist as well, because he's the lead guitarist as well. Well, he's the only guitarist because the other ones are, in the three members, he's the guitarist. There's also a bassist and a drummer. That's usually how that shit works. Lyrically wise, there is themes of sex and addiction and love and lust and loss, and really good themes as well, very well told themes, really good little stories with them too. I like the production. Jamie's a really good producer. He manages to bring out a lot of the sound. He's not just focusing on the guitar side of things, which I do like. He actually tries to make the sound a bit grounded, but also strong in its own way. And I've already gone through the structure a little bit, but yeah, I feel like it sort of, when it reaches the halfway point, it feels a bit unsure exactly where it wants to go. But it's still very well executed, bit of modern day alt rock stuff, so yeah, and if you've heard any buzz about this band, I recommend giving this one a spin. Hello, Jake from the Sly Future here. I just remembered I forgot to do my rankings thing, so from bottom to top, it'll probably go Body Psych with Expired Candy, Tiger Cub with Perfume of Decay, Avenged Sevenfold with Life is But a Dream, Rancid with Tomorrow Never Comes, and Foo Fighters with But Here We Are. But again, as always, give them all a listen at least once. They're all pretty good. Another really good weekend of music, honestly. So that'll about do it for this episode. The next thing I'll see you for will be tomorrow night, the Go Home show for Reverence, and then next thing after that will likely be a Fight the Night review, because I think there will be a card this weekend, so see you all for that. I can't really think of much else to self-promote. Oh, hopefully on Saturday night I'll finally get the Battleblock Theatre Let's Play started. Hopefully. I don't fucking know. One can cross their fingers and pray. But I will see you all definitely tomorrow night. So, as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome.